I live in South Carolina, so it's kind of hot here. It's like a sauna here. Hey y'all, it's Jess and welcome back for another video. So in this video, I'll be continuing the discussion that I had in the last video, which is a part 2 of how to have healthy natural hair. So I made a part 2 because I had a few reasons discovering why you might not have the healthiest of hair. I'm just gonna get into like about 5 more other reasons why your hair isn't the healthiest and go ahead and continue from there. So the first tip I would give y'all to encourage y'all to have healthy hair is try not to use too much heat. Now, I'm not saying don't use heat because I love to use heat. I blow dry my hair. Sometimes I flat iron my hair about 2 or 3 times a year, but I'm not using it excessively. And I use heat to stretch my hair, but I feel like blow drying isn't really too much direct heat, so using that I don't feel like should cause any damage to your hair and decline its health. I don't think really using a blow dryer really is going to really affect the health of your hair at all, because it's not really direct heat as flat ironing would be. So I would rephrase and be like, don't really use too much direct heat. Like, don't use it too much. Don't like use heat like every single day. Don't like flat iron your hair every single day. Then you'll lose the elasticity of your hair. Then your hair might be too dry if you use too much heat. Because I do notice after a protective style, because I've blown it out, or after like flat ironing my hair or just blowing out my hair in general, even though I moisturize my hair, even though I'm using heat protectants, which are all so good, I do notice my hair is a little bit more drier after using heat. Not that I want to stop it, it's just if you're using it more excessively and you're using it more, your hair is going to be drier, and it's going to break and it's going to split, and then you might lose your elasticity like I said. So just cutting out too much heat. Again, I'm not saying to not use it at all, just not using it too much and based on your needs of how your hair accepts heat. That's what I would say, because there's no judgment over here. I'm not a person who's going to tell you what to do with your natural hair, but if you notice that you're having some, decline in health of your hair, try this reason. Tip number 2 on how you can have healthy natural hair: trim your hair. So I know some people say trim your hair every 6 weeks, every 8 weeks. I don't personally trim my hair that often. I really do encourage y'all to discover how y'all need to trim y'all's own hair. I'm not sitting here telling y'all to trim your hair every 6 to 8 weeks. I personally trim my hair about twice a year, so every 6 months about I would trim my hair. But whoever needs to trim their hair more or less may need to trim their hair based on your needs. So what I'm saying is trimming your hair does affect the health of your hair, because if you're going too long without trims, it will decline the health of your hair in terms of it'll break off, it'll be split, you'll have dead ends. Then your hair is kind of just not in its best state, and it's not going to thrive. It's not going to be as thick. It might thin out. It's not going to grow as long either. So we all want to have long, healthy hair. So one thing I would do is try to keep up with your trims based on your own hair's needs. Again, I keep saying that because I don't want anybody to feel like I'm judging them, but discover your own time frame of when you need to get your own trims, and then you'll see the health of your hair improving. My third tip is maybe if you're a person who likes to dye their hair a lot. I personally haven't dyed my hair a lot, but I do notice people who use a lot of bleach, more so bleach rather than dyeing, because you can dye your hair without using bleach. But if you're using a lot of bleach, it's really drying out your hair, and it can change the composition of your hair, making it lose its elasticity, so your hair might not bounce back, your curls might not bounce back as fast, your hair might be drier. That's why it's so important for color treated hair, especially if you're using bleach, that people say please decondition, please moisturize your hair, and please don't over dye it, and please don't dye it too much, because then it's just really opening up the strands of your hair to get the dye in the strands of your hair. And that way, because it's doing that, is kind of letting out a lot of moisture and putting in other chemicals in your hair, which will dry out your hair. So I'm not saying not dye your hair, but I'm saying be careful with dyeing your hair and make sure your hair is as healthy as it can be before dyeing it, and make sure that you keep up and maintain your hair, especially if it's dyed, because it is more prone to being drier, which will cause split ends and dead ends and so forth and so on. My fourth tip on how to have healthy natural hair. Like I said, some of these reasons are to help you, and some of these factors may cause, you know, your hair not to be the healthiest. I will say that. So the fourth tip to improve the health of your hair is your diet. If you're not eating right, you're not eating a lot of fruits and vegetables, you're eating a lot of junk food, a lot of fast food, it's really going to really not only affect your body's health, but everything flows throughout your body. It will affect also your hair's growth, your hair's thickness, the strength of your hair. And if you're not really eating right, maybe your hair is not really going to grow as much. Maybe when your hair does grow, is it weak? Is it strong? Can it withstand certain things? So I would make sure that you're eating properly, which will increase the health of your hair. And not only just eating properly, drinking water. Our hair is like a plant. Like, make sure you put water on it and that you're drinking water internally, so that when your hair grows out of your scalp, it's growing effectively because you're hydrating your body, just in turn hydrating your hair as it grows out your hair and your scalp. So I'm one who drinks a lot of water. I drink a lot of water. I make sure I drink at least 3 to 4 bottles of water based off of me, which hydrates my body, and it helps in the growth of my hair. I feel like my hair has grown a lot, which maybe you can't really tell because shrinkage is definitely real, but drinking water, eating good, eating vegetables, eating fruits really helps not only your body, like I said, but it really does help the health of your hair as well. So the fifth tip that I'm giving y'all isn't really something that you can really avoid depending on where you live, but climate and weather and sun exposure can really affect the health of your hair. So I know this is kind of a tough one to kind of avoid. I live in South Carolina, so it's kind of hot here, especially in the summer. Not kind of, it's like a sauna here. Like, it's really hot. So I do notice that because the sun is beating down on my head, on my hair, the crown part of my hair is the driest, and it's more prone to breakage, which I notice. And then I definitely try to, when I'm deep conditioning, to put extra conditioning on that part, because especially in the summer, it's so hard to like really keep that part of my hair moisturized. So specifically, personally for me, sun exposure is my controllable thing that affects my hair, but there are ways around it to kind of improve the health regardless of the climate. And so my climate's really hot in the summer. We do have cold winters, but it's really cold for like 2 days and then it's warm again. Like, we have bipolar weather here, so it's mostly like warm to hot, and then sometimes cold in the winter. So for those people who live in like climates who are like more cold, it can really dry out your hair too. I don't know too much about cold weather and how it affects other people's hair, but if you do notice that if you have too extreme like weather conditions, maybe if it's too cold, it can dry out your hair. If it's too humid outside, it can really just affect your hair in terms of moisture, which can affect your hair and how dry it will be. It's also very humid in South Carolina, so the humidity also affects my hair too. Opens up like my cuticles in my hair and kind of takes out some of the moisture. It's just my own experience, but like, I can only speak on my own experience, which is sun exposure. That's all. Those are all my tips, y'all. I'm probably not gonna make any more videos about this, at least for now, but I gave y'all 2 parts. If you haven't watched part 1, go ahead and click on that video and watch it. Comment below what you think of this video or your own personal thoughts. And if you like this video, like this video as well. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel either. I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.